Wouldn't be worried if Russell Wilson can't go because Justin Fields has taken an opportunity here and been able to take advantage of it and keep improving. I'll get to Fields in a second. Not today to practice.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of Shooting for the Stars podcast with your one and only host, Cameron Williams. And I love this time of year because, ladies and gentlemen, yes, we just had our game. We just had our Hall of Fame game, our opening to the new league year with the Chicago Bears and the Houston Texans. It ended up in a Houston victory, 21-17. Yeah, we all know no Caleb Williams, no C.J. Stroud, no Nico Collins, none of the starters, period. No starters, period. Even though I will be talking why Caleb Williams did not play because, man, what is this NFL coming to? I mean, I don't give a dang if he was the first overall pick or not. I mean, he needs to play. I mean, he's a rookie. Rookies need to play, needs to get that feel for it, especially we have concerns about him playing in the construction of an offense, too. So, it would have been nice to see him, at least a drive or two from the starters on Chicago. But, neither here or there. I'm sure we're going to see some when the actual preseason starts off. So, that's going to be good to see. But as far as I want to get in today, probably this is going to be one of the most interesting because y'all guys know in the NFL right now, I'm trying to recall last time, it was an actual quarterback competition, and I'm trying to recall when was the last time we really seen a legitimate quarterback competition in the professional football league where a team has literally two guys going at it and they're battling out in training camp trying to win the job. Of course last year Russell Wilson and Jarrett Stidham, I guess that really wasn't no real quarterback competition. We all know he was going to win it. I have to go down the line. I guess the last time we've seen a real legitimate quarterback competition, I guess, was this last offseason with Sam Darnold, Brock Purdy, and Trey Lance. But do we consider that a real one? Because many insiders say that they already knew Brock Purdy was going to win it all along. He just had those two guys beat from technique, the stance, the accuracy, the keeping play, extended plays. He had them beat off all aspects of it. So, many wouldn't really call that a competition. But it is one going on up there in Pennsylvania. And I mean Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And one thing between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. But a little bit of a one dog race, if you ask me. As we all know, training camp started up roughly about 4 or 5 days ago. And Russell Wilson, of course, has gotten a strained calf, has strained his calf doing pushing a sled. Yeah, pushing the sled. That's what I was like when I heard he was pushing the sled, doing a sled drill, and strained his calf. And all I'm going to say is I'm going to break down this on real quick because I feel like it's real interesting. And since we have a quarterback competition going on, this could be the end of one's career and the rise of somebody else's, or very much the revamp of somebody's career and one that's just not getting started yet. It could go either way between Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. We all know Russell Wilson is 35 years old, set to be 36 on November 1st this year, and Justin Fields, a young 25-year-old who's looking to make a name for himself and remake his name here with a new team after the door got shut in his face in Chicago and not being able to make it work there. Well, meanwhile for Justin Fields, as we all know, we go back to in the offseason when the NFL had the new league year meeting. What did Mike Tomlin say about Russell Wilson? A term that does not have, as in my lifetime, I've never heard used, and a terminology that many other analysts never heard of before. When Mike Tomlin used the words pole position, whatever that means. Listen to Mike.
The term that I've used is Russell has pole position, and why do I use that term?
Russell Wilson has pole position. Like I said, he said he has pole position. So I don't work for the Steelers. I don't know what's going on inside the Steelers headquarters or their organization. But one thing I do typically know that the man with pole position, I guess meaning that, who has the one leg up, who's in the lead, who's the, front runner for the job I do know that man typically doesn't end up always winning. I do know that. And right now, this exactly is the worst thing. And I mean the worst thing that can happen to Russ right now. Because when you look at it, Russell Wilson is just a guy, man. He's playing for the chance to get a new contract, whether that be in Pittsburgh or whether that be somewhere else in 2025. He's playing to be hopefully a starting quarterback in 2025. He had a horrible tenure in Denver. A horrible tenure. Seriously, 2022 was a disaster. 2023, year with Sean Payton, better, a little better, but still it wasn't. don't be deceived. Like I said, don't be deceived by the stats and what we watched with our eyes. Still not like the Russell Wilson of old. Sean couldn't take it no more, and now here he is in Pittsburgh. Russell Wilson's career is banking on this Pittsburgh chance, and it's banking. And y'all, let me tell you something. This is ripping. Y'all, anybody that's played some kind of sport, like I said, when I reference examples, y'all guys know. I'm not just talking about the pros. College, high school, grade school. Anybody that's played and that's had competition, because when sports is supposed to be competitive, it's gonna be competitions more so at the high school level and the college level more so than the pros, because you know who your dog's gonna be, because god dang it, there's money involved, and anytime there's money involved, it's always gonna be a certainty. I tell you that much. But man, so in high school, we've had competitions, whether that be competitions for quarterback tryouts or wide receiver tryouts or or whatever the case might be. Okay, coming in, okay, say for instance, you're coming in, it's your senior year. It's your senior year, where you're a wide receiver. And you need this year. This is a big year for you. You're trying to play at the collegiate level. You're trying to get a boatload of scholarships. You're trying to end this. You're trying to graduate. Before you graduate, you're trying to go out with the bang, something to hang your hat on, right? And this young and up and coming and sophomore, or this young up and coming sophomore, this underclassman comes up and he's the same size as you, probably a little bigger than you, plays your position, probably a little bit faster, stronger, and and it has all the tools in his bag that you have, right? And boom, you get injured. You don't know how much time you're going to miss, and there's nothing you can do about it. Every day at practice, you're sitting this guy, and this guy's a nice dude. This guy's a pretty good wide receiver, right? And you're sitting here, and you're watching him every day get better. You're watching him every day make plays and impress the coaches, and you're like, oh, my God, I hope the coaches ain't falling in love with him. It's almost kind of like the ex. You don't want him to fall in love with the backup, and to a certain point, and before it becomes a matter of time where he's no longer the backup no more. So that's the problem. So that's the problem I'm referencing that's going on in Pittsburgh right now. Like I said, Mike Tomlin said about 2 months ago, you had pole position. Well, this isn't OTAs. This isn't mini camp. This is training camp. This is the tryout right here. This is where it starts, because pads is on and leather is popping. And I'm telling you right now, and for Russell Wilson to be missing 4 days, you know what that means? And yes, he is slowly getting worked in now. And the last 2 days, he's been getting slowly worked in, but only a little bit 7-on-7 drills. He hasn't been on any of the fully contact 11-on-11 drills. It was just a fight that broke out in Pittsburgh. What's it called the other day at training camp practice over a late hit around Justin Fields. So that lets you know already how the team is already building around and how they're coming together around Justin Fields. And if I'm Russell Wilson, I'm like, this could be the dagger for his career. Seriously, this could be the dagger. I mean, seriously, the worst thing that could happen. Just got this dude who's younger than you, he's taller than you, he can see. And I'm gonna tell y'all something too. And y'all, here's the problem with Russell Wilson, y'all. Here's one thing I'm fond of him. And, he's had a great career. Even though he's not ending it as strong as I know he wants to. I still have to make that case. If I had to say so, or if my vote counted, I would say he belongs in the Hall of Fame. He's a Hall of Fame worthy caliber player. Make no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But one thing I will say, the problem is, and why he's aging kind of bad, and why he's not aging good, which is a lot of reason why you hear general managers and why you hear coaches are trying to get away from drafting and getting quarterbacks underneath 6 foot. It just is, because I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. The guys like Bryce Young and the Russell Wilsons and the Kyler Murrays. Drew Brees was 6 foot on the dot. Some people say he was 5'11", but he was so good at anticipation. He was so good at anticipating and putting the ball early where his pass catcher can go out there and get it, and getting it before the defensive lineman can get their hands up. But I'm not going to rant about this, but I'm going to get to my point. But one thing I will say, y'all, you have to think about it. Russell Wilson is 5'10", okay? And your center, your left guard, your right guard, those guys are about 6'4", 6'5", average, and your tackles are probably 6'3". So, you got some tackles at 6'6", 6'7". So, it just depends. Pretty much, typically his line has about 5-6 inches on him, and you're 5'10". How can you possibly see over there? Do y'all wonder why he throws over the middle of the field less than anywhere else on the field? Because he can't see. But why was it never a problem in Seattle? Because why it wasn't a problem? Because when you're young, you had that fast burst, you were quick, he had that 360 spin that he loved so much. It was dangerous. Now you see him, now you don't. Now that athleticism is starting to diminish a little bit. You're 35 years old, and matter of fact, that calf strain is, I guarantee you, whether if he admits it or not, is his body telling him, all right now, Russell, time's coming up. You know, you're getting kind of old. We're getting too old for this crap now. All this running around and stuff. You know, I'm ready to wind down. You still doing hard cuts and pulls and all that kind of stuff. You know, I'm getting to it. The body's starting to catch up with you when you've been fast your whole life, when you've been athletic your whole life. You know, you don't have that quick step no more. And that's been the problem with Russell Wilson. And sometimes, I don't know, when in this game, it looks like he can't come to reality. He can't come to grips with it. But in order for him to have his career play out any longer, at least as a starter, as a relevant starter in our game and in the NFL today, he's going to have to make some changes, y'all. He's going to have to make some changes. And with Arthur Smith, you know, I expect a big run-heavy approach, rather if it's Justin Fields or rather if it is Russell Wilson come week 1 starting. But one thing Pittsburgh does know, and one thing I know as an analyst, I know that looking at the Pittsburgh Steelers schedule, and I know if they want to make the playoffs for the 18th consecutive year in a row, god dang it, one thing I do know they're going to have to kick this season off with 6-2, 7-1. They're going to have to kick this season off right. If they're going to make the playoffs this year, it's going to have to come in the first part of the season. Because when you look at the Steelers' first half of the season, you know, it's easy, real easy. With very winnable games. You got Atlanta, you have Denver, you got the New York Giants, you got the Dallas Cowboys, who's going to get everybody fan heads all high. You got the Washington Commanders. You got the New York Jets. Only God knows who they're going to be. So you have to take advantage of that, and you have to win now. And they know that. Mike Tomlin and them know that. And Russell Wilson, you took the vet minimum, so you're not going to have that luxury, like I said, like you had in Denver. Like I said, they had to play you. They were paying you too much money. Denver was hoping that you worked out for their sake, at least for the next 3 years, until they can move off and let your contract die. Russell, I guess you were so bad they couldn't do another year. They couldn't do a year 3 of you, so they had to get rid of you. Put you here, you don't have that luxury. You only signed for the vet minimum, $1.2 million. So which means if you look like trash in week 2 in the first 2 games, guess what? They're not gonna be hesitant to pull your behind in the first 2 games. So like I said, Russ, all well for him. Hope his calf gets healthy, and I hope Pittsburgh's following all the right procedures and all that good stuff to get him back healthy and get him back surely. Because this is a very important. This is make or break. This is do or die now for us. This is do or die if you want to extend your career. And like I said, and it's gonna be awfully tough. And like I said, one last thing, and I'm done with this topic. You know, the only way that Russell Wilson really has a chance at beating Justin Fields off, because think about it, Justin Fields is really who Russell Wilson was, just a little bit taller. And one thing about it, the only way Russell Wilson's going to have to beat him off, he's going to have to beat him off through the arm, through the air, which means throwing the ball. Because I believe Justin Fields still has some work to do as far as a passer. But when you're talking about athleticism, when you're talking about extending a play, I mean, dude is the real deal. I mean, seriously, Russell Wilson's not going to beat him at that. And he has to know that. And he ain't that crazy. You have to know that. You're not going to beat that young kid. He's 10 years younger than you. He can run around all day. He don't got to worry about no calf strain or no hamstring or no hammy. You know, he doesn't have to worry about that because he's young. You know, Russ. So what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to beat him through the air. You're going to have to push the ball down the field. And I'm sorry. And one thing about it, that bull crap that we seen in Denver, that got Russ his 26 touchdown passes, his 8 interception ratio, you know, he looked at 3,425 passing yards. You know, numbers looked real good. Russell Wilson, stats, top 8 quarterback stats last year. But when you watch the games, it wasn't like no Patrick Mahomes or no Josh Allen or no Aaron Rodgers or no Joe Burrow where he's picking apart defenses left and right. It's a lot of dink and dunk. It's a lot of nickel and diming. And I said this about that nickel and diming. Now, I got on Mike McCarthy behind, head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, about that. You have to put that ball in the air. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, do we live or die by that in our game today in the National Football League? We live or die by that. You have to put that ball in the air. All that running, all that nickel and diamond, little screens and stuff like that, screen there, RPO there, little run there. You got to put that ball in the air. And sometimes when it came like it, because I believe that the game plan and that the formula and that the scheme on how to defend short shorter quarterbacks, and not just Russell Wilson, is kind of out now, especially if they have a little bit of age on them. Get your hands up. Defend the outside numbers. You don't have to leave the middle of the field wide open because they can't see it. No way. And just protect the outside numbers, and then you can blitz because you feel confident that you have the outside taken care of. You're not worried about the middle of the field because they can't see that they're undersized. So it makes it real tough. Like I said, it's Justin Fields' job. When Justin Fields getting more comfortable in the scheme and in the offense and with his receivers and with his new teammates and with the offensive line and with the adjustments and with the audibles and all that, and Russell Wilson just sitting over there on the sideline with a cap, you're not having nothing to hang your cap on. You're gonna be starting. You're gonna be a backup. You're gonna be coming off the. You're gonna be a backup if you don't get out there and show that you can do and show what you can do and show that you still got some gas left in the tank. Because right now, calf injury. That's exactly what happened to Aaron Rodgers last year. Y'all, last thing, and I'm done with this video. That's exactly what happened to Aaron Rodgers last year. It was that calf injury. Before you know it, he tore his Achilles. It's life, y'all. It's life. You can't play this game forever. But while we're playing this game, we will be analyzing, we will be assessing what you are as a player. We will do that. You can try to fight it all you want to. After getting hit for so much mileage, it's only so much destruction that the human body can take before you really end up really messing yourself up for life after football. Or who would want to do that? So, to end this video off, I want to ask y'all let me know in the comment section down below. Y'all let me know, who do y'all have winning the quarterback competition? Last question for real about this. Who do y'all have winning the quarterback competition in Pittsburgh between Justin Fields and Russell Wilson? Because I know if you're Pittsburgh, say what they want to. I know who they want to win. You want it to be Justin Fields. You want it to be Justin Fields because even if it is Russell Wilson, how long is it Russell Wilson at this age and at this point of his career? You have to think about that. You have to ask yourself that. But I want to ask y'all, what do y'all think? Who do y'all think will be the starter week 1, and who do y'all think will be the starter week 18 come at the end of this year? And not only that, and just let me know, are y'all prediction, will Pittsburgh be a playoff team again this year for the 18th consecutive year? And will Mike Tomlin get them to the playoffs? Y'all answer those 2 questions for me, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what y'all want to hear, and I will see y'all in the next video on the digital airways of YouTube with Shooting for the Stars podcast with your one and only host,